don't think that any stream would work if Critiiq doesn't show up to help me out. I practically need like a technical assistant to make anything work. But then that's perfect, because then I can just make that explanation of what's going to happen when I get down there anyway, as I intended anyway. All right, so here is the dialogue. Balthazar now is with me in the Shadowfell. I expect this to be a party. And regarding the dialogue, it's not really that important. He is down there. So let's go down there. Going to try to be as thorough as humanly possible when it comes to explaining what I'm doing, and also to be very, very careful here. If this guy can't come along, that is a disaster. There is a hand. Good. Don't want to play without my earth elemental friend for sure. Right. Okay, so, oh wait, I need to go down here before... And there he is. Big man. Alright. Okay, so at this point I'm going to be ready to do a couple of buffs here. Now what is important for the fight here is that you already have the jump so that you can jump far. Let me just quickly check what happens when I equip something else. How does that affect the jump range? Do not think the fight is going to start here. No, it's not. Right, so this is the jump range, and then the stick here. Jump range is slightly farther. Slightly farther. And the reason why I'm contemplating is you don't want to begin the fight by going down there. I'm going to go over this in a moment, what the considerations are for this fight, because basically the opening can be very dangerous, very, very, very dangerous. So that's definitely something that I need to make sure that I do not fuck up. All right. Okay. So before the fight starts, I'm going to do a little bit of pre-buffing here. Balthazar is probably going to beat me to the initiative, which is why I'm settling for my 18 dex, because I prefer to have the arcane synergy diadem online here, and I'm not going to switch in anything else, and this is pretty much the setup that I'm going to go with. So I'm going to cast the protection from good and evil here. And the big hope is that this buff will carry, but we'll have to see. And then probably I will be wearing, where was it? Was it the magic missile amulet? I think no, that this is the items. You don't want to use the items at this point, because any items that you use, any abilities on items that you use will not be refreshed inside of the illithid mind flayer colony, which is why it's a very important consideration to me now that I can't use any of those buffs, including the sunbeam that I need to very, very gracefully conserve to the for the right moment. So let's just quickly see. Probably it's going to be an amulet with a passive effect. Do we have anything in here? No. This is not it. Okay. So the healing word restoration, but that's something that I just want to have like in the back hand for something very important. Probably I'll just equip the spine shutter amulet, which in principle could put the hurt on Balthazar if it comes to that. And then let's check one thing. No, this is not a place where I can actually summon undead. Okay, I can, from a pile of bones, I can actually summon undead, but do I want to? Probably I actually do want to do that. The consideration at this point, right now I have generally the buffs that I want for this encounter. Any other buffs are going to be, I need them for later, so I can't use my spell slots for this fight. That's the idea. Okay, I'm going to go over the setup now, what the plan is, what I hope will happen, and how I propose to go about this fight in general in the best case scenario. I also have a video with me fighting Balthazar in the Shadowfell as a dual wielding fighter, which was very, very easy, but it is an entirely different setup than what I can get on the warlock. So, quick overview. This is Wyll. He's a level 9 warlock, the fiend. He has Pact of the Tome as his background, enabling the haste spell, the animate death spell, and also the couple of other smaller things. Then he is a level 9, so he's access to the Conjure Elemental as part of his Eldritch Invocation setup, which is very important to me. Other invocations are Eldritch Blast, Agonizing Blast, extra charisma damage on the Agonizing Blast. The other bonus is pushing, Repelling Blast, pushing with the Eldritch Blast, and then the Devil Sight for sight inside of magical darkness. Those are the 4 Eldritch invocations. Outside of that, the gear setup is as follows. I have the Forbidden Knowledge from the tome that you get in Act 1, which is a very beneficial round of saving throws. I have the Diadem of Arcane Synergy, and enabling my charisma modifier, which is 24 with everything combined, to gain arcane synergy, meaning that my spellcasting modifier will be added to my attack rolls with the weapons, and this is going to be very beneficial, enabling my bonus action in a very, very strong way. Just very briefly, it's a full brain, which means that abilities like Color the Weak, Repulsor are going to be part of the idea. Also Psionic Backlash and Ability Drain, of course. All of these will be used potentially in this fight. Considering my options, I might use some of those, but those will be restored once I get to the illithid Mind Flare pod. Then I am using Cloak of Protection and the Ring of Protection, which are just great. The Potent Robes for added damage to my Eldritch Blasts with Charisma modifier. Gloves of Dexterity, adding to my armor class as well as +1 to my attack rolls. Very beneficial. Right now, the Evasive Shoes for extra armor. Armor is going to be very key for me here. I don't want to be hit as little as possible, if possible. Then currently the Club of Hillgiant Strength, because this has to do with how I want to open the fight, but this might change. The Adamantine Shield, because when they miss, they're going to be reeling and no critical hits can land, and this is pretty important because Balthazar can, in principle, deal a lot of damage with his attack. Then, as a very key component here, is the Ring of Poison Damage. Of course, you can grab yourself an elixir if that's what you want. But anyway, getting that poison resistance is absolutely crucial, because all of Balthazar's attacks, apart from when he runs out of spell slots, are poison based. and he is going to be landing. He's going to be landing on the single target ray of, what is the name? The poison spell, the level 1 poison spell. But he's going to upcast that to level 5-ish. Yes, Critiiq. This is part of the. That's part of the fight explanation. Some of the monsters here are able to push, and that is basically what can kill you here. But you have to go about that in a strategic way, and by the end of turn 3, hopefully, that's no longer a problem. But I'll get back into what the mobs down here do in a moment. So get the poison resistance. Just make sure you have that. That is absolutely crucial. The Spine Shotter Amulet is going to be able to potentially reverb Balthazar, disabling him maybe a little bit, but this is not very key to the strategy here. In the weapon section, I have the hand crossbow as main hand, but that's only to make space for the Nærmesser in the offhand, which is, I think, on most accounts, one of the best weapons in the entire game, because of the fact that it deals force damage, which, with the diadem of arcane synergy, the charisma bonus, all of the decks and whatnot, is going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage on. Even though it does not say that it's a lot of damage, it will deal a lot of damage, and that's a fact. So now for this fight, I'm going to bring in my Earth Elemental. So here's the consideration: Balthazar has an insane initiative, which is why, in the best of all worlds, what you want to do. I'm going to explain what the monsters do the second that we get into the fight. So remind me if I don't do that. So what you want to do in this fight is that you want to put a little bit of space between you and all of the skeletons. Meaning, if you position yourselves in the middle, you're asking for it. Balthazar likes to cast his Cloud Kill spell, which is very dangerous, and even with resists, you're going to take damage. The other thing he's going to do is he's going to cast Ray of Sickness, that's the word. The level 1 spell that he's going to upcast to the level 5, I think, ish. Isn't that correct? He's level 8, so that means he has level 4 spells. but that's what's going to happen, like so. And this is why and high AC is very, very beneficial here. This is not a high AC, but high AC is very, very beneficial in this fight, because then most of the fight is going to be trivialized by that. So that's one way I would definitely suggest: get armor class. But the idea here is my strategy is to try and get to the left side of the arena, because that means that a lot of the monsters that Balthazar is summoning in a moment are spawning up here. Some too are spawning here at this location, and then here and approximately here we're going to have apostate destroyers spawn. The apostate destroyers will push you as part of their action out of the arena, instantaneously killing you. So in the best of all worlds, to my knowledge, if you're able to jump all the way over here in 1 second, getting your back to the wall, yes, it's going to expose you to a bit of skeletal action in the early stages of the fight, but it's also going to put you in a very favorable position in terms of not instantaneously dying once the skeletons get their turn. Yeah, he's using the Cloud Kill spell, and I forget if that is it's as far as I know, it's 5d8 with the normal rules applied to it. The Cloud Kill, my experiences, and this is like the knowledge that I picked up from fighting here. I can't guarantee that this is the case. Balthazar doesn't seem very keen, at least with the setup that I was running on my fighter, to cast the Cloud Kill. So that means he's going to go into the attack roll with the Ray of Sickness. So both an attack and some kind of damage resistance is going to happen, which is very beneficial. So if there's only one target, there's a big chance that the mechanic is that he prefers the single target. But we'll talk about that once we get into the fight. It's going to be apparent very quickly if he prefers to do the one thing or the other thing. And then he still has his legendary action where he has the spectral aspect, but I think he also drops the damage pools after the skeletons die, but we'll have to see. So the problem here is that normally, and this is now I have the 19 strength, so that means the jump length is pretty far. But as you can see, I'm going to be landing right here, which is not very beneficial. What I'm considering is the Earth Elemental can trigger the fight. Do I want to go ahead and port into the middle of the fight, causing the fight to start, and having Wyll up here on this ledge, being able to attack here and destroy the 2 skeletons here, and then joining the fight later? Or do I prefer, and let's just see if I can't just, I think I can crouch in just a little bit. I don't think the fight is going to start here. Nope, it's not. Can I kind of, you know, get myself in there in another way? One thing I know works is that if you cast the jump spell, you're going to be able to get all the way to the edge here. And that is potentially what I need to do. My problem is, if I decide to do that, am I going to be missing the jump spell at a later point in this run? And that's the big worry. This is why I'm not proceeding as quickly as I normally would, because if I need that jump spell off of the ring at a later point in time in the Moonrise Tower attack, that's a problem. Probably I'm going to buff it because I'm a little bit worried that this is necessary. So, decision has been made. Right, and let us just see. So now that was, and now you can jump all the way, which is just to my experience very, very beneficial. I just want to check what happens if I equip the Blood of Lathander. And now the jump range is destroyed. So I am going to kickstart the fight now. So good luck and have fun, I'm guessing. Okay, that was a little bit interesting. Let's just go ahead and attack him then. That was very, very unexpected. So that in principle means I can even switch in my Blood of Lathander for this. I'm not complaining. Jesus Christ. I am not complaining. Right, so the animate death spell now becomes this has to be a joke. This has to be a joke. Okay, so do I want to spend a spell slot to counterspell the animate dead? In principle, that means he's not getting any of the skeletons out that he would normally do. I think not. There are 2 reasons for this. The psionic backlash is going to deal a lot of damage when he's casting a level 6 spell. That's one reason for it. The other reason for it is that if I counterspell, there's a chance I'm not getting any of the XP for killing the monsters, which I want. That's the one thing. The other problem is that I'm spending a spell slot. So we're going to go ahead and psionic backlash him. And so Balthazar is misty stepping away to a pretty favorable position, already at less than half HP, and I'm going to be in the position of fighting the skeletons. We're going to talk about what the skeletons do. First of all, we have the librarians. All of these skeletons are very low HP, by the way. Librarian is casting the what is it called? The bone chill ability. That's its action. That's what it does. The sentinels are, I think, sword and board. It's a crossbow man, so he's shooting with his crossbow. Not very dangerous. Then we have the defender. The defender are basically low HP skeletons that they have a weapon, and are probably attacking with strength plus a bit of, I'm assuming, a bit of proficiency, but hopefully not hitting me that much. I don't have anything going for me in terms of any kind of armor of Agathis or anything, so I don't want to be hit preferably. And then finally we have the Apostate Destroyers. The Apostate Destroyers are basically the only problematic thing in this fight, outside of the Cloud Kill, obviously. The Apostate Destroyers enjoy pushing you into the abyss. This already happened to me once in a playthrough. So you want to make sure that you never position yourself, even with high strength and acrobatics and whatnot, close to the edge for them, and they will go for it. They are horrible. It's like fighting the Duergar. Balthazar is mostly going to spend his spell slots attempting to cast Ray of Sickness, is what I'm hoping on me, which needs an attack roll to succeed, and then applies poison damage, which is being resisted because of my gear setup, and also potentially the poison condition, which I also don't want on me, which is going to be giving me disadvantage and whatnot. But this is basically the fight. And hopefully what I'm hoping is that he's not casting Cloud Kill. So at this point, I need to consider my options. All of these monsters are going to come for me. They're not very dangerous. Not very dangerous. I'm very far away from Balthazar. He's already spending his spell slots on Misty Step, so already that's great for me. I'm not too worried yet. If they all swarm me, probably I'll try to repulse them with the effect of the Call of the Weak. That's going to be very effective. So I'm going to play it safely, move a little bit back. And also temporary HP plus 7 is from the potent ropes, so that's also going to play into my advantage. Probably I'm going to attack the Apostate Destroyer. Right. So I'm just going to check that one thing here. Right. Yeah. Favorable beginnings, and then the bless spell. The bless spell is that spell that I have like in yeah. All right. Let's go. So I'm going to stay as far away as humanly possible and end my turn. Oh, there's a blindness going in there. I think the psionic backlash will take care of that. And then we have 2 sentinels up here. And let's see if we can push them into the abyss. Okay, let's just... Okay. 2 HP. So I'm wondering if I should... If I can get close to Balthazar, I think that's a boon. I'm going to go here just to harass him a little bit. I don't mind it if the Earth Elemental takes a little bit of damage. And all of these skeletons are worth 60 XP. And I can count those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Approximately 20. So that's already 1,200 XP on the XP side alone for these. Oh, Ray of Frost is what they do. Okay, so he decides no action. That's also weird, actually. And I think I'm going to take this attack of opportunity. My odds should be good for this. And then I'm considering this one. It might actually even be overkill, but like this should return on the illithid mind flare pod. So I am going to cast this spell. This is extremely effective with Call of the Weak and also low HP monsters. And Balthazar now reacts with dead wastes down here, so that's already great for me. So I am going to just see if I can't bother that nice gentleman. Now the position is not as good as I wanted it to be. Don't think the skeleton can push me anywhere. We just have to hope for that not happening. Okay. And then going to go over here. No reason to taking any extra attacks if possible. The cloud kill could, in principle, I think, hit both me and the Earth Elemental at this point, which was not intentional. So I'm really hoping that that doesn't happen, because then now he's casting it. That would be impractical. Okay, so it killed itself and gave me no XP. That's annoying. Question is, do I want to psionic backlash the blind? The blind spell is... How annoying is this going to be? Because if Balthazar decides to cast, it's going to be too annoying. I prefer to avoid that. Let's see what he does. Bone chill. So he's bone chilling now. Okay. I'm not too impressed with Balthazar this round, I have to say. Let's go and take an attack of opportunity. And then the condition, the apostate defender gets the reeling condition, and that triggers the diadem. It's just such a good item, Jesus. Okay, let's try this out. And this time I'm not going to go to myself. I'm not going to go up there, but I am going to stay in this. Oh wait, that was the wrong position. Annoying. Yeah. That was very annoying. There we go. Lathander's Light is not really doing the work right now. Normally, the blind component is very, very effective. I am going to have to protect that Earth Elemental quite a bit. And now he's blinding me, which... And I'm backlashing him. So the bone chill on the Earth Elemental. Yeah. I am going to stay up here, but I think I am going to take very defensive measures to keep the Earth Elemental in the game. Probably running back outside of range. If Balthazar insists on going for it, there's nothing I can do about that. All in all, this is a very unproblematic encounter, and it does give extra XP actually, if you want to min-max. Okay, let's just quickly see, is the diadem online? Diadem is online. And the resistance from the spectral aspect does not cover the Eldritch Blast, so I feel fairly secure that we can do this. Yes, it is out. Okay. So now it's the cleanup and then on to Moonrise. Okay. Don't know if I need to loot these guys. Probably that's a bit of a waste of time, so let's not do that. Yeah, that's the fight. Like, all I can say is that this fight is, if you have a respectable armor class, if you position yourselves in a proper way, I think this is easier with a solo rather than a full party, because the cloud kill is just devastating. And if you get into a position where you just cloud killed and you can't move and your party's dying and some are getting pushed off the arena, and it just happens, you get into a fight situation that seems much more difficult than it really has to be. This is not a particularly hard fight, and it does give a lot of XP. Just going to loot Balthazar. Don't think I'm going to be using his reward, or his headpiece rather. I think the animate dead is destroyed once you take off the helm, and the helm slot is too valuable. Let us talk to the Night Song.
Free me, and I will forgive your transgressions. Generous, don't you think?
The Spear of Night could be meant to sacrifice the Night Song. But are you the one supposed to wield it?
Yes.
No questions asked. Let's go.
Silver, hear me. She who guides the Moon Maiden Selûne, mother of the so-called Night Song. The Night Song is no more! It is your turn, my friend. You have done what we feared was impossible. You have released me from a century of sorrow. Your power is great. So too must be your weapon. You must choose what you will wield. And the Moon Maiden will provide. Thus I have said. Thus will it be so. Are you ready? To kill Critiiq Thorn.